Hi, I'm Soul.
Hi, I'm SANNA 2.0.
SANNA 2.0, and we're on break for 15 minutes.
By the way, my name's Brian. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Okay, so happy Breakroom.
Happy Breakroom.
I decided
God,
to
I
wear
needed this break.
Star Wars gear. Now, am I a Star Wars fan? Have I watched the movie? I think I watched a couple of them when I was young, but this is some clothes.
Were they at least comfortable?
That I've borrowed to be comfy.
Well, good. As long as you're comfy cozy.
The dark side. Anyways.
All right, you nerd. Get back to it.
Yeah, get back to it. So.
What have you brought?
You know me.
What tea have you brought today?
You know what? I love Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
I love the tea.
She loves the tea.
I love the tea.
Speaking of, I know this is a little off topic, but it's in my head. Great place to find tea on Reddit is Best of Redditor Updates.
Oh my God, that's my favorite place.
r/Best of Redditor Updates, because you get the tea and the conclusion of the tea.
I think some of the Reddit stories we talked about on episode 9, I believe.
We're from there.
Yeah, some of them were from
there. There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so this person has posted on the r/relationship subreddit.
Okay.
And they are asking advice.
As where you should go to the internet nerds about advice.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. But I mean, some people. Okay, honestly, Reddit gives pretty good advice.
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly,
I just like being a monster.
Says the nerd himself. You're the nerd who are joking on other nerds. That's rude.
I'm a nerd ribbing into other nerds.
Yeah.
And
ribbed for your pleasure.
All right, back to relationship advice.
Okay, we only have 15 minutes on our break.
But wait, how ribbed are we talking?
Oh, so ribbed.
Anyways,
okay.
Great.
Advice. Someone's asking for advice. They're saying, my boyfriend's hypersexuality is a turnoff. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to give you the synopsis. They're in their late 30s, I believe. He's a widower. Mm-hmm. His wife died. They've been dating for 3 years, and they're having different attitudes about sex. So he is...
Quickly, too. They're happy. They're both great in their relationship.
Yes.
Except for her in the situation with regards.
Apparently he's a great guy. Yeah. They got
supportive,
a good relationship.
all that stuff.
So, quote, he is a grown man with a teenager attitude about sex, self-serving, no control over his urges, constantly being objectified. If he doesn't get 2 to 3 times sex a day, he sulks or goes to get high until he can't function, and it's turning me off. Apparently, they both have high sex drives, but sometimes she feels like there's no romance, no foreplay, and they can't have a normal conversation without him turning it sexual. So this apparently they've talked about it before, and nothing's been improved.
Well, she did say that they talked about it a little bit because she wasn't feeling comfortable.
Oh, was it a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not fully dived into it with them, and she's kind of here asking, well, what's the advice? Like, what should I go for?
Yeah. And so this person's saying, he's turning me off. I don't know how to handle this.
Right.
Anyways, okay, I'm just going to talk about the fucking comments for a second.
Those comments are kind of wild.
The comments are like
he's a terrible person.
He's a terrible
you gotta leave
person. He she's a great guy. She's saying that he's a great guy. He's a terrible person. He doesn't care about your needs. You need to leave him.
Yeah, if he doesn't make you come, he's not worth any of your time. It's like,
if he's not listening to you and just being selfish, he needs to leave. He needs to stop acting like a child.
Yeah, right.
Like, okay, first of all,
that's not what she came here to ask for.
Exactly.
She came to ask saying like,
what should she do?
What should I do?
What's the solution within the relationship?
Not that I'm trying to break up with him. It's
what do I do? Yeah.
What do I do to make things between us better?
Right.
And how do I go about doing that? And everyone's like, it's the end of the world. Like, no. The sky is falling. Break up with the man.
Right. Okay, first of all, I feel like we're not getting the full picture here, though. It's just relationships are so complicated that
they're nuanced.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of conversations they've had. I don't know what kind of background problems they're having. But here's what I think. I don't think we're getting the full picture, and I don't think they've probably communicated enough.
No, I think she's expressly, she herself has stated that she doesn't, which is like, okay,
Right.
if you know that you haven't communicated enough with him
Right,
or like
right.
had a deep conversation, that's probably where you should start before you start turning to others. And it's good, you know, and I'm not faulting her for reaching out, you know, because
No.
maybe she didn't know.
Yeah.
And I think that was the general consensus for at least the reasonable people was like, you just need to have a sit down.
have a conversation. And like, you know what, if he's like, here's what I'm saying, if he's having a hard time, you know, he's not doing foreplay, or if he's, you know, you don't feel like there's romance, if you tell him, look, babe, tonight, let's engage in foreplay until we can't hold ourselves back anymore.
Set some of your own expectations and your own desires on the
There's so
table.
many different little things that you can do to make sure your sex life fits both of you guys.
Right.
But the comments were whack. Yeah. I was just like,
y'all need to take a deep breath.
Here.
It's like going on to like WebMD and be like, hey, I got a mole. And they're like,
Is this
chop off
cancer?
your arm.
Yes.
Take it off.
Yes.
Your arm's doomed.
Yep.
It's gangrenous.
Yeah.
It's going to infect the rest of your body and you're going to die. Cut off your arm. It's like, but it's just a mole and it's not even that big.
Right.
Nope. And that's everyone's response to this. It was just like, freaking guillotine, put weights around their ankles, throw him in the river. If he floats, he's a witch. You know, all that crazy stuff.
You know what I did? There was a little bit kind of interesting thing about this post, though. I forgot to mention. She talks about how, you know, he's a widower and he's been married for most of his adult life. So she didn't get a lot of sexual experience, but she's had a lot of experience.
Oh, right. And she was saying something like, maybe it's because I'm so numb to it.
Yeah, maybe I'm just so used to all these exciting experiences that I just don't care about exciting experiences
and
anymore.
he did have a complicated past with his wife.
Right.
Like, it was like once a week and probably not
and
the best.
she said I kind of understand why she only wanted to have sex once a week.
Right. So maybe he's got a craving. And then she did say also that she wanted to, like, maybe I should just let him go out and have sex with other women.
Right. Which I don't.
Having a lot of sexual partners does not necessarily make you good at it.
Right. No, I disagree. Definitely, I feel
you disagree with that statement? Or
No, I disagree
with,
that,
like,
that you
letting
have
him go
to have
rampant.
lots of sex partners to be amazing in bed.
No,
I just feel like if
well.
you find a partner that you're really compatible with, it doesn't matter what the
And if you're not necessarily like fully compatible, communicate that so that you can be compatible.
You can adjust. And if he's as great of a guy as she says he is, I don't think he's gonna always be so selfish.
Right.
Know?
And if she hasn't communicated to him in that way, then how's he supposed to know? He might be more of a naive person that doesn't pick up on things.
Yeah, maybe just have a really open conversation about sex and expectations and kinks and all that stuff.
And you know, the kicker is there's an update. She updated on the bottom of it. And she said she had a conversation and he felt guilty for his behavior because he didn't realize what he was doing was inappropriate. And now that he's aware, things have gone well.
So the last time I read this, there wasn't an update.
Really?
So
that's very interesting.
So, okay, now I see that there is an update. I didn't check it before we got on. So yeah, conversation. But okay, what would you have done if you were in this situation?
If I was in a situation where I wasn't always in the mood for sex and was starting to feel like just an inanimate object to my partner, right? I would sit down with that partner then maybe for a couple of weeks I'd try to see if things changed, if I changed my behavior in some manners. But then if nothing worked, if I couldn't correct it without addressing it in the foreground, I'd address it in the foreground. And just say, hey, like, we clearly are having some kind of issue here because you feel guilty here. Or not even say that. Maybe go to them and just say, like, hey, you know, this is how I feel. And try to get where they're coming from and see where they're coming from. And then you guys clear up your emotions to say, I feel this way when this happens.
Right.
What about you? I mean, I'm assuming it's more or less the same.
I think a good characteristic, like I might be shit at communicating in like emotionally, but I've always been really good at communicating when it comes to the sex life, only because I place such importance on a good sex life. So I've always been really open and communicative in that run. So I would have just communicated it really. Like for me, you know, you got to constantly communicate and talk about it and create an environment where everyone's safe to tell their opinions on that.
Yeah, I mean, don't be playing inherently a victim and don't make the person feel like a villain because there's someone that you love and you don't want that to happen to them.
Of course.
But you've got to express your feelings in a clear manner of like, this is what's happening. What's going on? What's your perspective on this? You know, why do you feel like that if I'm not giving you sex that you need to smoke into oblivion? Right. It's like, you know, so.
Yeah.
And then they can give their reasoning back to you. Well, I feel that this is how this is my behavior because of XX and or X, Y, and Z. And then, well, that's not how I feel. And then boom, bada bing, you now know where each stands and you can find a mid ground in that.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like a lot of most relationships, the biggest
hurdle. Roadblock.
Not hurdle. I think the core of all relationship problems, and I might be not correct, but the core of all relationship problems, I think, comes down to communication, honestly. Absolutely. So just communicate. I know it's hard
and uncomfortable,
but just communicate.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, that's your loved one, and they should. I mean, if something that small throws your entire relationship into a wrench, right, then you know maybe you should have addressed it beforehand.
Right. But it looks like they talked about it, which is the right step.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't realize that they did.
Yeah.
But so I thought we were gonna have more tea to talk about, but I guess that's it. I mean, they talked about it. Honestly, that's all you need to do.
Right. Yeah. No. And talk about it.
I'll find some better tea next time. Well, I do have some.
No, it's great tea. I think it's good tea.
It's good tea. I think it's a good topic.
You know, she was like, I'm ready to give my boyfriend to another woman for the weekend, right? You know, that's kind of an extreme thought. Like, hey, maybe we shouldn't go to extremes so far.
I just feel like, you know, I like it when there's so much drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, like last time when we talked about the guy.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of drama here.
It is drama, but, you know, like dramatic.
Like she was like, I'm going to throw away my relationship here because he's too sexual.
Right. You're right.
And it's like, whoa, take a deep breath.
Right.
Talk to the guy.
Yeah.
If it's really that big of an issue, let's talk about it.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a pretty
you know
big.
Yeah, I think that's big, but
situation,
I'm thinking about our viewers here. Yeah. You know, I'm thinking about what kind of tea they like.
Yeah, well, they got the tea. They heard the tea, and they got a resolution to the tea.
Okay, you're right. I'll find better stories. Anyways, break is probably how many?
It's nearly. We'll be
over.
good employees and get back to work before the end of the break.
We shall get back to work. Bye.
Bye.